You need to know this. Many people fail to respond to RFE or file an application before the deadline. This is why we offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. Not everyone qualifies. First, you need to speak with our CARES team. We receive many requests, so we recommend you answer a few questions on our website, greencardguys.com. Our mission is to help people live and work in America legally. Go ahead and subscribe below and follow and share. Talk to you soon. What's going on? How are y'all doing? Good to see y'all. All right, in today's show, I'm going to share with you the what happens. All right, what happens when NVC closes your case? Okay, this is important information that some of y'all unfortunately have this situation. All right, let me know if you can hear me okay or if you cannot, because I'm just changing some mics around here. And so hopefully you can hear me okay. All right. Set this up properly. Okay, that should work. All right, welcome to the show. My name is John Ting. I practice immigration law here in Houston, Texas. And I'm here to answer any of your questions. You're welcome to drop it down in the comment section down below, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Now, here's the deal. There's a lot of problems going on with immigration. You guys know that. That's probably why you watch these shows, to see if someone else's situation comes up and they have a common situation. So yesterday I was just in court, and I think I did go live right after the hearing and also record a video to share with you. So take a look at that if you have a court case, so you have a better idea of what happens during a case. Okay, that was not a trial. That was more what we call a master hearing, similar to a pretrial. All right, but for today, if you have questions about NVC and what happens if the case is closed, it is possible to essentially reinstate your case. Now I'm going to share the website with the travel.state.gov so you have a better idea. Alrighty, there you go. So unfortunately on TikTok you can't see it, but unless you want to go switch over to YouTube, then you can see it. Again, you're welcome to. Sounds good, Tony. Thank you so much. You're welcome to drop your questions in the comment section. Of course, share your experience. I was trying to find the part about reinstatement. I was almost there. But here's the deal, folks. Why is this even important to you? It's because, there we go, 1 year contact. My goodness. The thing is, folks, especially a family preference category. You filed your case, your sponsor, maybe it's your aunt, maybe sponsored initially for your mom or dad, and then you're considered derivative. Those sibling cases take so many years. It's like the petition is like, a couple of years. And actually the longer hot tip here, folks, you guys hear that all the time on this show, is that the petitions, some of y'all might complain like, why the hell is my petition taking so long? And I ask, well, what kind of case is yours? And you say family preference, or maybe you don't say that, but we explain that to you. The longer the petition takes actually for family preference is actually better, especially if you're the beneficiary and you have children. Okay, because you never know if the children are getting to a certain age where they're about to age out, meaning 21. So it's actually better. It's just weird the way Congress, they did the formula. I guess in a sense they feel bad for people where the case took longer to process. So they're basically saying, okay, well then for those people, those kiddos, they're gonna be protected in their age 21. So, anyways. Y'all continue to share your experience and your questions. I see it here below. I'm going to answer and review them as soon as I'm done with today's topic question of the day. Thank you so much for your questions. And so here's the website anyway. Here's the website with the travel.state.gov, and it has a little section where it says 1 year contact requirement. INA, meaning Immigration Nationality Act. I'm not going to read this whole thing. I'm just paraphrase for y'all. If you need the link, we're happy to share it with you. I'll see if I can link it. You know what? Let me see if I can link it on YouTube, Facebook right here. Okay, hopefully that works right there. Okay, so shall terminate, okay, the registration, meaning the petition of any, I don't like to say this word, alien, but immigrant who fails to apply for an immigrant visa within 1 year of notice of the visa availability. And that petition could be reinstated, may be reinstated if within 2 years of notice of that visa availability, that the immigrant establishes that the failure to apply for the next step, because some of y'all might be confused, like, you mean apply like the petition? No, it's not about the next step. It's talking about the DS-260 that you do online, okay? And saying that if the failure to apply the DS-260 was for reasons beyond your control. I mean, I think that's going to be a hard argument to say that. I mean, unless you got in some, I don't know, pandemic reason, I suppose. If you're in jail, maybe. But really, just stating you didn't know or your lawyer didn't tell you, that's probably not going to be enough. I hope that works for you if that was the reason, because a lot of people say that to us who are, asking about this situation where they're stuck. But anyway, it says, therefore, if you do not respond to notices from NVC within 1 year, you risk terminating your petition under this section of law and will lose the benefits of that petition, such as your priority date. Man, that priority date is like gold. Okay, folks? It is like gold. Oh, my goodness. You don't want to lose that priority date. And if you don't know what I'm talking about priority date, you're going to want to watch one of my search on YouTube, at least, or maybe on TikTok about what is a prior date? And I suppose that's how I phrased it. So good morning to y'all. Good afternoon, wherever you're watching from. Hey, congrats, Lucas. Awesome. Glad to hear from Beantown. Congrats. I'll answer your question in a bit. So the NVC, so this is especially important for those people who are family preference, but not just that, but especially important for anyone, any family preference or immediate relative, if your case involves a waiver. Okay, if you're in the United States and you need to apply, if you need to apply for what we call provisional family unity waiver, 601A. I was a cheerleader for like 2 months, so does my. Anyway, so I have not shared that to anyone, so special thing for y'all to know. Anyway, 601A. There's another one called 601. That's different. If you're in the United States, unlawful presence, enter without a visa, and you want to get status, you're going to have to file 601A. So for y'all, a lot of people make this bad assumption that, oh, I apply for the waiver, so you don't even think about updating National Visa Center. The way it works in general, the big picture here is the first step is file a petition. And then you cannot file the waiver until the petition is approved. And so inherently you might think, oh, USCIS handled my petition. They know about my waiver. So they're just going to tell NVC, right? No, they don't. They're not going to tell you. So the whole time you're applying for the waiver, you might get lucky, who knows? But you got to be intentional. You got to update National Visa Center so that National Visa Center, aka the State Department, does not say, hey, you didn't contact us within 1 year. You didn't even let us know you're filing the waiver. Got to know that, okay? You got to know that. All right, so only y'all that are watching live now and people watch later on YouTube and Facebook will know this, but you know what? I don't think I've shared that to anyone before, so I need to mention that again in the future. Anyways, so those are the main things to know about the 1 year rule there. Very, very important. All right. And let's see here. What else can I share with you about this? Here you go. This is other website I want to share with you. This is on the family, the Foreign Affairs Manual. Okay, fam.state.gov is what we call it. That's the URL. They have a little section here called notification of possible termination of registration. Okay. Here's Here's another section about an extension of the 1-year period of registration. All right. So there's a bunch of information here you need to know. This is just like I usually talk about the USCIS, what's it called? Policy manual. I like to share the Foreign Affairs Manual, which is for the officers, visa officers that work abroad. This is for them essentially, or your case abroad. If you hear the phrase consular processing, this is that manual, okay, for the steps after petition. All right, thank you so much for your questions. I will answer those now. All right, here we go. All right, how y'all doing? Where y'all watching from? All right, I remember Lucas is from Beantown. And Lucas, let me go ahead and see if I can answer your question. Congrats again on your approval. Wonderful. So the only reason you had an interview was because the paralegal checkmarked the wrong box. Oh my gosh. Can you believe that? Oh, they took your fingerprint and photo at the interview. Is that normal? Yes, that is normal. That part is normal. It's been normal like that for the past couple of years. So yeah, no worries on that. Thank you so much for sharing. Appreciate your trust to even share this information. But can you believe that? So you did have a lawyer help you, right? Or at least a paralegal, which if you did only hire a paralegal that worked for a law firm before, or you're thinking about it for other folks, really encourage you to hire a law firm. I'm not saying a law firm will make it perfect like Lucas, if you hindsight, but I think my team, understands how detail oriented that we need to be. And this is an example, man, Lucas, that could have saved you a trip. Could have. We don't know for sure. I guess the officer may have told you that. It was probably the basis of your application, maybe. My goodness gracious. Okay, next. Good morning to Rodelsky. Your son is 10, by the way. So maybe your son can't file for you. Here's your other. I missed that for some reason. Your wife and yourself got green cards approved. Congratulations. Your son's status, however, still says case was received. You all applied at the same time. Who filed for you? Is that your sibling? Is that what you mean? Because yeah, if you had your sibling file for you, and your son's considered derivative, yeah, that is a bit strange. In a sense, was it Rodelsky had a lawyer? So did you have? Is it a consular processing case? You were abroad, and your son is considered employment based. Was your son? Even so, your son's considered derivative. Okay. Hey, what's up, Julio? Thanks for the roses. Appreciate it. I have no idea what that does, but I know hats or something, cowboy hats on TikTok that I don't even know if I can see that. Sometimes it happens so fast. I can't see it. But thanks. But thank you. I know that means a lot to offer it. Okay, employment base. So, So are you still abroad, Rodelsky? It sounds like here. Maybe you're here because you said case approved, case was received. So that seems like a typical status that USCIS would provide. Huh. That is interesting. As a typical case status that USCIS would provide compared to the consulate. Okay, consular processing. Nope, L1. Oh, based on L1. Okay. All right. Well, so you're abroad then? Is that what you're saying? Okay. Well, let me come back to you. Okay. Okay. Yeah, you're in the U.S. Been 7 years, so that sounds about right. So, then you filed the 485. Yeah, that is a bit weird still. Well, I'm happy for you and your wife at least. Well, yeah. Then I would just check out USCIS and see if you can submit inquiry. And who knows? I'm assuming your case status probably said the same thing, and all of a sudden it's approved, right? Like a decision note mailed is what it updated to. But thanks for sharing. I don't know if I answered your question, but submit inquiry if you can. All right, folks, on TikTok, let's see. Let me scroll back up. Okay, thanks so much for your questions. By the way, if you don't mind and you enjoy the way we share information and how we do it, welcome to follow, subscribe, whatever channel you're on. And you might not have known this, especially if this is your first time joining the channel. Welcome to greencardguys.tv. My name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in all 50 states, America, and across the world, helping solve immigration problems and maybe preventing the problem from happening in the first place. Someone like Lucas, who's been following the channel, I could have prevented that problem, that kind of situation. But we do offer a strategy session, so you may not have known this, for no cost for 15 minutes. Now, not everyone's qualified for that, just because honestly, we just have a lot of inquiries, and we really appreciate everyone's trust. So I've tried my best to train the team. When you call in for the first time, or whenever you call, really, it's what we call our care specialists. So they're not lawyers. Okay, keep that in mind. But I train them pretty good amount, pretty much every day, so they can continue to understand terminology and things. Because I know y'all that watch on all these different social media, you will have much more knowledge base than most people, right? Because you're taking the time to research, and we greatly appreciate it. It does definitely save a lot of time in explaining certain things. So anyways, but hey, if you're on TikTok, then you can follow or DM us if you need our contact info. But the best way is go to, other than our phone number here on YouTube and Facebook, our website is greencardguys.com. Okay, I think I'm almost to the top. Okay, there we go. Thanks for joining. Hello, Kitty. I think I didn't get a chance to answer your question before. 17 years ago, you were deported for attempted murder. You applied for I-134A. Will you be approved? That's tough to say, because whether it's actually murder or attempted, it sounds like the conviction actually happened. Like there's a final conviction. So we don't help with humanitarian parole. Like I'm happy to answer questions about that to the extent that I know it. But what I do know is it takes a long time and it's not guaranteed, right? I mean, we know people who applied like more than a year ago and applied for, it was like siblings, but one of them got approved or selected, approved, whatever you want to call it, got to humanitarian parole, but the other sister did not. It's still processing. So, yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, in general. And then you have the attempted murder conviction charge. I'm assuming a conviction. So, I would try a different way to see if maybe a company could sponsor you, if possible. Especially now that you waited this amount of time, then you might have some flexibility there in terms of not having to apply for a waiver. Okay. All right. How long does sibling sponsorship take? Chris Honey asked. And the petition, well, from the day you file a petition, let's say today, and regardless of when the petition is approved, but the visa availability is about 10 years, because of family preference, it relies on, it's what we call F4 category. So if you Google search visa bulletin, it's going to pop up. If you see travel.state.gov, you'll know you're in the right place. And yeah, it takes about 10 years. But a lot of people end up thinking, oh, they all say 10 years. They all say 10 years, so I'm just going to wait on it. But why would you do that? You need to at least get the ticket in line, like get the priority date. When you file, you'll receive about 3 weeks to 5 weeks in the mail a notice of receipt. Okay, some people call it receipt notice, $7.97. All the notices, by the way, are $7.97. So a lot of people I know on the blogs, you put like 797C 123. It's actually not that helpful. I think if you want to be helpful and share your case process with others, just tell them receipt notice. That just cuts to the chase. And the thing is, because receipt notice contains, I believe in the middle. Okay, let me just give you all a heart. TGIF. Okay. It includes a priority date. Okay. The priority date is your ticket in line. So do not wait. Even if your sibling says, I hate you, your sibling says, don't worry, I love it in my country. You know how it is. I love it. It's not always great, but it's good enough. My business is here. My job is here. I've been working my job for 10 years. They all have different things they say. Who cares what they say? Just file the dang thing, okay? File the it only costs $535. Look, a freaking iPhone costs more than that. I know they have like I don't know what they call it. iPhone 5 or something, it's the light version, I suppose, might cost around that. But look, rent costs more than that, right? So I think if you're gonna, because look, your sibling, I can predict the future for your sibling because we get a lot of people ask us this situation, like, can basically clients without saying it, they ask, can we do it? Is there a time portal? Because they kicked themselves and said, they should have filed a petition a long time ago. Okay, so it's great that you asked Chris Honey on TikTok. But when most people ask this, they tend to wait, and then I have no idea when they end up filing. They tend to wait. Now, some people call back and like, shoot, John, I should have done it a long time ago. So yes, even if they hate you, just file the dang thing. They're gonna appreciate you much more in the future. $535 for the first step. Okay, folks. I feel like I'm on a game show. All right, Veronique, USCIS asks for your arrest record. What do you need to submit? Well, on that notice, they likely, on the RFE, I'm assuming what you got, they likely specified it, but usually the police report, the indictment or complaint, that's what we call the charging document, and then the disposition or judgment. That's what the disposition or judgment is essentially, the finality, okay? Like what happened at the end of the case. That's why they want to know. Manel Beauty, why asylum take too long? What can you do if your case is pending? A great question. So asylum, it's a sore subject along with other things, but essentially, let's say you filed a year ago, right? A year ago, and you're thinking, yeah, like what's up? This is America. I should have had the interview like a week after I filed. No, that's not how it works here because we're backlogged. We don't have enough people working as an asylum officer, so they just don't have the resources. Okay. From what I understand, they're supposed to conduct the interview within 180 days or 120 days. I don't have it in front of me, so I could say it wrong, but you can't hold them to it. Like some people ask, like, hey, it's been a year, John. Can I file a mandamus lawsuit? You could file, but I don't recommend it. Can't stop you, right? But generally, when we file for people who have waited more than 4 years and more, we see a significantly high increase in a turnaround time to get the interview date. So 4 years is our mark. Okay, and when we say, hey, call us back in another year or something, if it's been 3 years for you. So kind of give you an idea. We absolutely love to sue the government but only when we think it's the proper time, essentially. Okay, folks. So hopefully that gives you an idea. So hopefully it doesn't take you that long, right, for your asylum interview, but it could. So by the way, hot tip, especially for cases that take a long time, make sure to update your address with USCIS, because if you move, USCIS is probably generally not the first entity to update that you would think. Maybe you update USPS, you do the forwarding your mail, which I highly recommend anyway, but you still need, especially if you have a lawyer, okay? If you have a lawyer or you didn't have a lawyer, you need to update USCIS as the first person you need to update. If you have a lawyer, you need to update before, like, as soon as you sign the freaking lease or mortgage, because many people, I'll tell you what, like, I remember one client, like, we work on very diligently on every case, but just one case in particular, I was like, bro, man, you paid this amount of money and you didn't, like, we mailed a letter say certified mail because they didn't answer the phone. Phone line was disconnected. in the age of technology, it shouldn't be this difficult to update certain professionals that you moved. Okay. So this is, basically I share with y'all things that are really the problems that clients gave us that should not have happened. Right. So basically, as soon as you sign that mortgage, which God forbid, hopefully you get a low interest rate these days. But yeah, send us a text, send us an email ASAP or your lawyer. Lucas says, highly recommend to have a lawyer to do the process. Your case could have been denied if you didn't have a nice officer to fix the mistake. They could use it against you or something. My goodness. Well, oh, I see. Because you said you hired a paralegal. So yeah, folks, that's the thing. Thank you so much, Lucas, for sharing that. So some people you hire a paralegal, or they claim to be a paralegal, and maybe they're not. I mean, yeah, there's paralegal certificates, but even so, even with that, or if they worked for a law firm before, cool. They know how to do the forms. I mean, the forms are not the difficult thing, but we walk through the consequence of those questions, right? So, and even after a client, answers our questionnaire, we review it to make sure, because sometimes we're like, you told us this in the consultation or the strategy session, but on this questionnaire, there's something different. Like, what happened, right? And thanks, Lucas. And then I'll share this. I'll share what Lucas just updated with us. But yeah, they so that's the thing, and we review it. Our team reviews it. We have 2 to 3 eyes on it. So 2 to 3 people, 2 to 3 set of eyes on it. 2 or 3 different people review it before we file it. In fact, we also ask our clients. I know it may seem strange, but we also ask our clients to sign their certificate of accuracy. Okay, that's what we call it, because you're filling out our questionnaire, and you could be distracted. Honestly, we could be distracted when we're multitasking in this day of technology. I encourage my legal team to not be distracted, of course, to focus on like this time block to review cases in this 1 hour, 2 hours, for example, in a day. And I actually encourage them not to check the email that often, because we time block the emails, email management. So, anyways, long story short, yes, as Lucas said, he also highly recommends hiring a lawyer. And this is what happened to Lucas. Thanks, Lucas, for sharing. If you don't mind me mentioning this on the show. He also says that the paralegal checkmarked that he had been in the U.S. 2 times, but you only had one entry and overstayed and never left. Highly recommend have a lawyer. So this is a great example of, man, yeah, you need to have a law firm. And so it's not so much like, yes, of course, it's just better to have someone who has experience with a degree, but also when you hire a law firm, we're more likely to have a workflow to check these things. Okay. We essentially call it, in our law firm, we call it due diligence check, time period. So if like a client says, "Hey, how fast are you going to file my case?" We're very intentional. We have three service plans, but let's say max plan, for example, is file your case in 30 days after you authorize us. Then we set a time period to do that due diligence. Hey, that's cool. What is that thing? Someone gifted something that was like waving. I don't know what to do with it. Oh, I left. That was cool. I don't even know what it was. All right, cool. Anyway, I can go on and on about that. But thanks, Lucas, for sharing your situation. So hopefully get that green card soon, Lucas. Okay, in the mail. So Lucas, make sure, and anyone else, if you're about to move, do 2 things: update USCIS AR 11 online, and also forge your mail with USPS. Man, you don't want you go through this entire process. I've heard of people don't end up getting the card and then have to file an I-90 form and pay another $500 something. Which, by the way, folks, And I'm a member of American Immigration Lawyers Association. That's just a long phrase to say I know more information than most lawyers and paralegals. Is that USCIS is going to increase their fees. I thought it was going to happen last year, but that's because generally when the any federal agency like Department of Homeland Security, last year they submitted a rule to increase the fees. Okay. Now I know everyone was up in arms about it when President Trump, his administration increased the fees or tried to. There was a lot of pushback on it. That's because he was trying to add fees like $10 for asylum application, and that didn't go through. So anyway, President Biden administration increased submitted a final rule to increase the fees that actually was finalized last March 2023, but it was not implemented yet. So I always generally federal government has a final rule, it's supposed to be going into effect soon, but it has not yet. And there's word on the street with our association because we have we have direct connection with U.S. officials, these agencies, they have indicated the fees are going to go up. So if you have not filed your case and you're eligible, really do yourself a favor and do not wait. Okay, do not wait. If you're just like, oh, I just need to wait for like one other expense to clear, well, shit, move it around and move this expense up. Okay, because this is a priority. All right, your immigration status is a priority. Don't tell yourself anything different. You need to take care of this because there's other aside from increasing the fees. Um, yeah, you just never know. You might want, I hate to say this, but I even think about my friends in this situation, like, you know, long time ago. I know I look a certain age, but long time ago when I used to, go to the bars and drink more than I should not have been driving. Okay, I got very lucky. And back then, there was no Uber. I don't think there was Uber. There was no Lyft. There was old school taxi. But, this day and age, if you're going to go out to drink, folks, you think you're just going to have one drink? It's usually not just one drink. Okay. Don't lie to yourself. Okay. So just go ahead and just call Uber or not call, but, do it on your phone. Schedule Uber, whatever you call it, or Lyft. Okay. Because especially whether you have status or not, but, if you, yeah, yeah, Tony, shaking my head right now. Some things I should not have done, especially on the road. Oh my goodness. Anyway, off my little rant and advice there. All right, so you'll see a lot of questions and comments here on TikTok as well. Let me scroll all the way back up. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for your trust for me to answer your questions. Today's Friday. I'm going to see if I can go live tonight. I know I went live randomly yesterday at a random hour after court, and y'all seem to be just hanging out on TikTok at least. And some people say you hang out on TikTok at night. So anyway, I'm saying this because if I don't answer your question right now, please follow. Okay, especially you guys on TikTok, it's just easier to go live on there. Let's see here. Someone asked where we're located. We're located in Houston, Texas. Okay, we have a physical office. I know some people out there on social media are saying, as immigration lawyers, are saying, virtual office. Yeah, that's cool. But like sometimes you might, who knows, if you just want to meet us in person, if you want to, hey, come on down to Houston. Houston has a lot of great cuisine. I'm from Dallas and I didn't think I would like Houston, but I do like its cuisine. The people are great, but I don't like the sports teams, as Tony knows. And yes, I am ready for the Cowboys game. I got some homies who are Packers fans, so the shit talking has already happened because I am not happy about the past. If you guys watch American football, I think if you just Google Cowboys and Packers, you'll see what I'm talking about. Just some calls should have gone our way. Shoulda, woulda, coulda. So, right? It's kind of like with USCIS. If you don't, it's better to have a lawyer. Have someone on your side, like the refs. All right. So let's see here. Julio has been very kind and gifting roses, so I assume he wants me to answer his question. Let's see. How long does it take for 485 to be approved after the I-131 been approved? So, okay, see, I see that thing. Like, I don't know what you call that. Jessica sent that over. Okay, thank you, Jessica. Is it a spouse case? Okay, so I know both y'all are here. I'm assuming this is a marriage case. When did you file to begin with? But generally speaking, from start to finish, I have a better idea from start to finish. If it's a marriage case and you filed it in 2023, okay, it's 3 to 5 months on average. If you already also mailed your medical exam, the results in a sealed envelope, okay, very important. And also that you took the COVID vaccine. I know. I'm not going to tell you to take the vaccine or not. Okay, I'm not going to touch that subject in detail, but they require you to take it. Okay. So unless you filed it like before October 2021, I believe was that cutoff. All right. So just trying to think of other random situations where prevent a problem for you. Okay, but Julio, that's how long it usually takes. And if it's going to be 3 to 5 months, it's not necessarily only for people who have the interview waived. We have a couple cases that what's it called? We still had an interview, but it was I think 3 months, if I can recall. So that was pretty fast. I remember going to one in Houston, for example, and so I always like to look at the dates and all that to I feel better, and I could share with y'all about that. Tony's right. We're in the new year, 2024. So hopefully cases continue to move fast. In fact, maybe they continue faster if they understand, if USCIS can understand how to improve their workflow better, manage their capacity with their personnel. That's really what it boils down to, personnel. Hopefully that's all it boils down to, and not anything about intentionally delaying people, because that's some ulterior motive that we have no idea about that. But let's see. Okay. Can a GC get revoked? If so, will you go to jail right away or be able to fight outside? Oh, Jessica, I hope there's nothing wrong with your case, or are you just very a worrisome person? But Jessica, if you haven't shared already, I wouldn't share more detail than that if it's truly an issue. But yes, a green card can get revoked. Okay, if you've done certain things that USCIS did not know at the time of the interview originally, or they find out later. Somehow they find out. One example is, that I can recall, someone inquired with us. Their asylum application was approved, and actually it was the son that came to us afterwards to apply for something else, because when they applied for a GC, I can't exactly remember if it was approved or not, but the asylee status was revoked. So that's actually another example of not hiring a notary. Don't take this the wrong way, folks. Some of y'all might be notaries, but y'all know this. Notaries don't have a license to practice law. And yeah, I mean, buyer beware, basically. Okay, folks, buyer beware. Be careful who you hire. But you may have the whole thing is like, us immigration lawyers, we talk about this and we find out from other people, and then these paralegals or notaries, they end up paying like almost the same amount that you would pay for a lawyer. So it's just kind of strange to me. But yeah, Jessica, contact us or call us or fill out a form on our website, greencardguys.com. Click on contact us, because it sounds like you got more info that we need to learn about. Okay. Back to Elvin on YouTube. Sorry, I missed it a bit ago. Can you get a green card via marriage if you have asylum denied and decision is being appealed? You enter illegally when you're 13, by the way. Thanks for what you do. Happy to help. So, Elvin, yes, you can get a green card via marriage, even regardless of your asylum being denied. And you might be asking this because you might know that you do have to consular process abroad. But when you file that petition, when your spouse files that petition on your behalf, there's a page on there, not the first page. I think it's like third or fourth page. Will ask, where are you going to continue the process? Essentially, adjustment in the States or consular processing abroad. So, especially knowing that you share this, you have an appeal going on for that asylum claim, then you want to select a different consulate or embassy, not the one that of the country that you're fleeing from, okay, that you have fled from. So, but you also need to know, since you did mention you enter illegally, you need to apply for a waiver. 601A, I think that's what I mentioned closer to the top of the hour. But you need to file a waiver, okay, and that's only sorry, just messaging the team. Okay, so you can't apply for a waiver. Apply for a waiver until after the petition is done. I know it's frustrating because it's a long process for you, Elvin. But Elvin, you want to chat more? Welcome to give us a call or fill out the form online. Okay. All right, folks. Thanks so much for the likes and following the channel here. Whoa, TikTok told me congrats. Roses are. Well, that's interesting. Rose is lit up in the creator's gift gallery. That's cool. That's cool. I didn't know TikTok would use that language. I got to roll with it, man. I got to learn this language. All right. How long does it take to get green card for your parents after you file if you are a U.S. citizen? Okay, so sounds like GRG on TikTok. You're over 21. You file for your parents, and so let's say it's definitely longer than applying for a spouse. Okay, for residency. Sounds like I'm inferring that your parents are here in the United States, and hopefully they entered with a visa. I would say at least 12 months. Okay, on average. And yes, it could require interview still. I know it's weird because they're waiving it for spouse cases. All right, let me scroll up or down here. Oops. Do they still give 10 years green card after the 2 years one? So yeah, 2 years one is the conditional resident status. Now the 10-year card, it's not automatic. You have to file a remove conditions application. That's a 751 case. Okay, user 86 on TikTok. If you have not heard about the remove conditions, you need to DM us. Okay, we need to chat more. Because by the way you phrased the question, it sounds like you maybe didn't know. Maybe you did. But yeah, after the 2-year one, after you get those conditions removed, then you get the 10-year. Papa John, I'm gonna try to find your question. You asked me to. Let's see. I'm trying, y'all. I appreciate your patience. I'm really trying because there's a lot of questions here. I see Effie. Effie, thanks for your question to Julio. I think he did apply both. That's what I infer. Man, Papa John, I don't see your. Do you like that pizza, by the way? Who likes stuffed crust? I haven't ordered that in a while. Lately, it's been Domino's for us. Okay, I don't know. I thought I scrolled all the way up. I don't see it unless it's not letting me go all the way up anymore. D Sing on TikTok asked our consultation fee. We actually don't charge it. I know a lot of lawyers think we're crazy. Some of y'all think we're crazy. Well, we do. If you want more than 15 minutes, we do charge for it. The fee is on our website. I am hesitant to share it online. We're all about transparency, but TikTok, I think they banned me for 5 minutes because I shared the fee. So, because I'm technically on a personal account as a business, so maybe that's why. I don't know. Just trying to learn this TikTok game. Jessica got the #1 gifter badge. Congrats to you, Jessica. All right, Nora. USCIS online account progress time keeps going from 5 months to 2 weeks. Why do they do this? Because they're idiots. All right, Nora. So they USCIS. I'm just being mean. Okay, I'm just being mean. When I've called into the hotline, okay, when I eventually get through the the reason I call for a client at the end, I usually like to ask this kind of question just to kind of get a survey, if you will, from these officers, say, or customer service reps. Hey, you know about this thing, online account, my USCIS account online? It says like 2 weeks, the estimated time frame for processing. And they essentially basically sent to paraphrase, they feel bad for y'all and they feel bad for themselves because they get a lot of calls from y'all, right? And it's not true. Okay, the progress timing expectation is estimated timing is not true. It is literally impossible for USCIS to even scan documents. Okay, they sent out a memo about a year or two ago saying if if we could help them essentially with their scanning process and do certain things so it's easier for them. So just kind of give you an idea. It's not true. Okay, um, I hope the government tells us the truth with everything else, but that estimated processing on the account is not true. All right, thanks for asking. Fatuma on YouTube asked this question, which I probably don't have the answer, but you shared the prior date document qualified 2 years ago. Congrats to you, F2B. Final action date, F2B moved on chart A. Moved to October 1st, 2015. Yeah, you're quite a ways. You're quite a ways. How close to you getting an interview appointment? You're quite a ways because even if you have some people I've heard have the interview before the final action date, right? Which to some extent makes sense, but they can't actually issue the visa before that, right? Until yours reaches 2000, October 31st, 2016, technically for you, for 2 months. So because some people have the interview and it's before they chart A or chart all these charts can move anyway. But then some people get frustrated and say, well, where's my visa? And then you finally look at chart A again, it's like, oh, they are not authorized to issue the visa. Maybe they were like a couple months ago, but not anymore because retroactive, retrogression. So that's frustrating, right? But keep track of it, okay? Check every month on the visa bulletin. Yeah, Tony says they don't bind anything, give them opportunity. You don't want to give them opportunity to lose more pages. Yeah, it's strange. They don't want us to bind like we used to put like those, like enclosure basically to combine all the pages so nothing's lost. They don't want us to staple pages. They don't want us to put rubber band. So it just feels weird because I know how it was before, the many years before. I used to even do rubber band. They don't want us to do that. They want to make it as easy as possible for us to make it easy as possible for them. Okay. Alrighty. Andy on TikTok. Oh shoot, folks! I got a meeting in 5 minutes, so I gotta hop off in 5 minutes. Let me answer as many questions I can, as fast as I can, and efficiently. Andy on TikTok says, file for VAWA adjustment status May 5th, 2021. When will you get the green card? Ooh, I wish I had the magic ball question answer for that one, especially for VAWA. I mean, if your spouse is a U.S. citizen, ex-spouse or U.S. citizen, then it's supposed to be faster than for if your sponsor was a resident. But unfortunately, it's hard to say. And even every time I check the processing time schedule on USCIS website, it doesn't specifically have a category for VAWA adjustment based on VAWA. So it's frustrating. They have the family base, they have the employment base, but it doesn't have one for like VAWA, which would be great. Be great. But it's getting to a situation where I've received a lot of inquiries like this that we may consider suing for this. So if you want to join a group or something together so to reduce the cost for you, I'm happy to do it. We'll probably need to get like 5 to 10 folks at least in the group. May not necessarily want to call it class action because there's a lot more requirements to that, but essentially, in general, folks, I love to sue the government, but it has to be meet at a certain time. But also know that many lawyers don't want to sue the government because maybe they've never done it before, or other lawyers who have done sue the government they're just very strict on the timing in their own, chart essentially. I'm a little bit more open because I think it's ridiculous that you had to wait this long. As long as you're willing to, in my opinion, there's no risk. The only risk is paying the government fee, right? The filing fee, essentially. Um, but we're open to trying because the judges, they need to know. And most of the time, they need to know about this delay problem across the board. With USCIS, State Department, but most judges don't know this. Okay, the federal judges, most of them don't know because, of course, the one that exceed the unreasonable timing delay, they usually don't go to a judge. They get negotiated out. Okay, just like any other lawsuit. So, yeah, lately we've had about 4 motion dismissed recently on some cases that I really think they should get moving anyway, but they want to stall. Okay, the government, and these are all all cases where the person's abroad. Any case in here in the United States with beneficiaries in the United States, we haven't had an issue about motion dismiss. Okay, so hopefully it helps, Papa John. I still don't know. I still don't see your question. Let me see if I can scroll all the way down then. Okay, I got a meeting in a minute and a half. Papa John, let's see. Thanks for the follow. Appreciate it. Hope you all have a great weekend. Melissa asked, oh shoot, things moving. There we go. Melissa asked, what to do if your case was dismissed? Are you talking about court case? Congratulations to you. That's one step closer to get legal status. Now, I'm not sure. Have you filed a adjustment application already? Even if you file a petition only, let's see if you made a follow comment on there. Diana, I'll see if I get to your question. I'll make sure I can find it. Let me switch. But yeah, I mean, in general, Melissa, if you have filed a case and let's say worst case scenario, your adjustment of status case 45 was admin closed because you filed it during your removal case, you can get them to reopen it, but you have to update them, okay? Update them that the basis of why you want to get it reopened is because your court case dismissed. Now, other people, if you haven't filed the adjustment of status, that's okay. Like my client from yesterday in court, we advised her not to file 45 yet because the USCIS tends to admin close the cases when there's a removal proceeding case. So it's almost like, I would say no point, but might as well wait, especially if people are trying to save up money and things like that. Okay, Diana, I see you also asked. Diana, I think your question is. I thought I saw it, Diana. Now I see some very similar names. Man, this is tough. A hot mess. I need a TikTok assistant. Yeah, I did. Maria was helping me out for a long time, and I told her she's got a lot more on her. That's funny that your profile is hot mess. I told her as of 2 days ago she didn't have to do anymore, but clearly I do. I do need her. Okay. Hot mess. Thank you for telling me about that. I do have a lot of imposters. I didn't know it was that many. I mean, I don't know why I would have imposters. Man, this is kind of ridiculous. I'm assuming they're gonna pop up on TikTok too. But I met a IP lawyer, so she used to work for Facebook, so she's familiar. I'm gonna get some tips from her, pay for her service because yeah, my team has told me that. Thank you so much, Hot Mess. Do I have answers for you, Papa John? No, I don't, because I can't find your question for some reason. And Diane, I'm trying to find yours too. All right, sorry, folks. I can't follow me. Follow me. So, especially Diana and Papa John, I'm sorry, but follow me. So I'll try my best to go live tonight. Hopefully, my wife didn't hear that. It probably will be after 9 or 10 p.m. Central Time if I can make it. Yeah, Tony, I it's weird that they don't understand the algorithm, these imposters, but it's all about the algorithm. It's not just copying my image, I guess. But yeah, I guess I made enough. I guess I met at the threshold to copy me. Um, but just like those notarios, paralegals, they don't know all the advice. Facebook user, real quick. The EOIR, if you Google EOIR automated case information, EOIR case, I think it'll pop up. There's something you just put in your A number on that website and they'll tell you. It's an official government website. All right. Hopefully that helps you out. All right, y'all. I'm late to my meeting and y'all have a good one. Take care. Bye.